president and CEO of the Iowa Restaurant Association and spends every Wednesday night with 200 recent refugee children called STARS. And she's here tonight to tell you about her experience and passion for these children. So let's give her a big round of applause.
Hi, I'm Jessica Dunker, and I live at the end of Douglas, and this young gentleman lives at the other end of Douglas, along with 200 other children that have recently immigrated from countries all over the globe. And I want to remind you as we talk tonight that these are people we invite to live here. These are refugees. They cannot be repatriated to their country. We work at Zion Lutheran Church on Wednesday nights with a lot of children from Burma. They speak about 15 languages in Burma, which is a country about the size of Iowa. We have a lot of fun with them. Some of them speak no English. Some of them speak quite a bit of English. But they come, they play, and this is where they came from. This is one of the camps in Burma. You can see the kids up here, and I really like that picture because you can see they're barefoot in the mud playing soccer with a soccer ball about the size of, I don't know, this big. And this is what they were used to. This is them at Zion Lutheran Church. They are still playing soccer barefoot and having a great time. And one of the greatest things that we have got to find out about these kids is about their resiliency. The things that they have seen, and yet the joy that they can come and experience just by playing. And we're trying to recreate childhoods in many ways for these kids. We also work with a lot of children from a country called Eritrea, which borders Ethiopia. The Eritreans the people, Kunama people of Eritrea sided with Ethiopia in the war between the two countries. Only 4 million people in Eritrea speak Kunama, the language Kunama. Many of them seem to have found their ways to Des Moines. And so it's very hard for us to find translators. They all came from one camp. This is a Shambhala camp in Ethiopia. It is a camp that was created specifically for Kunama people and another group, people group called the Tigray. None of them can go back to Eritrea. They all have to be placed elsewhere. And a lot of them have landed here. And again, the things that these children have seen, many of them walked with their families from Ethiopia to Eritrea to the camps at night, and yet when they come and find a great place to play, one, they can entertain themselves really well because they didn't have a lot of toys back in the camp, and two, they're fun. Now, STAR stands for Serve, Teach, Advocate, and Reach. The first thing we do when the kids show up on Wednesday is feed them. And for a lot of them, they have been used to food lines, and they will stuff themselves full of whatever we can feed them, because they're not always sure, they still have the memory of not knowing where their next meal comes from. Then another thing that we do is give them clothes. Even just last night, we were working with kids that are still wearing flip-flops and have no winter coat. And so we have a clothing closet, we've had gifts of shoes and coats, and no matter how much stuff we put in here, it's all free, there's never enough. Then we do teach, and we work with the kids. We try to meet them wherever they're at. We talk with them, we read with them. Often we read to them so they don't feel like they have to perform for us. We try to form relationships with them, which is what so many of them long for, what so many of them need. And you can see that a lot of our volunteers are high school kids. And I point that out because anybody who shows up on a Wednesday night at Zion Lutheran Church, we put to work. We literally need one-on-one with every one of these kids. We literally are at about 8-on-1 right now. So a lot of high school students come and they just play games, they read with them, they do what we ask. Back to relationship. Douglas Terrace, some of you have probably heard about this in the paper. That's where a lot of the kids live. We just went and got busing reinstated for a lot of the refugee kids. Des Moines School Board did a wonderful thing this past week, and getting more and more of these kids busing because transportation to school, #1 issue for all of them. Sometimes we form relationships at a much deeper level. This is my daughter May with a little gal, a Kunama gal, and she's troubled all the time. And as we try to dig in and find out what it is, sometimes we hear things that we really don't want to hear, particularly with the Kunama people who have suffered greatly. This is a family that my family has connected with. This little gal, Arifa, and Daniel, our brother and sister. Sona is another little friend of theirs. And this is where the advocate of STARS comes in. They needed an advocate. They have a mom who doesn't speak English, probably never will, had hearing damage in the war. This is Dahaba, their mother. She's 40 years old. She doesn't hear out of one ear. She's got chronic chest pain, chronic face pain. But she wanted to get her children to this country to make things a better life for them. Kunama is a matriarchal culture. She does not have a husband, never has. And we've just tried to play with them. One of the most interesting things about refugees, they all have the birthday January 1st. When you come to this country, they don't really care when you've been born. That's your birthday. None of these children have ever had a birthday party. None of them had ever had a birthday cake. None of them had ever had a birthday present, and our pledge to them was, 1, you pick a birthday, 2, you get a present, 3, you get a cake. We have tried very hard to introduce them to some American culture. We bought Arifa a swimsuit, took her into Target. She didn't, when I took her into the dressing room and said, okay, honey, you need to leave your panties on when you try on the swimsuit, she looked at me like I was crazy, not about the panties, the idea of trying clothes on in a store. Never heard of it, never thought of it. This is their oldest brother, boy Tom. He has a job. This is such a victory. He works at Hy-Vee at the Market Grill in Urbandale. Please go there, keep him employed. He is a busser, and that's about what he's capable of. That's the first paycheck he's ever had. These are the kids. They're there every week. We need a lot of people. Like I said, we rely on high school kids. We rely on groups that come. We can provide people one-and-done opportunities, but they are beautiful, fabulous children with families that we've invited here who have hopes and dreams. This little Burmese girl, anyone who ever comes and visits us will get a hug from her. She's a hugger. But she also comes from a Burmese family that has, in many ways, the Burmese are not pleased with because mom had a baby who she put up for adoption, which was not acceptable to them. And so we just love on them. So come, yay! Okay, bye.